Boston's just a bad matchup for us. It just is. Like, it not bad to
They
the
saw
point.
Jay Crowder and saw barbecue chicken. Like they were cooking.
But the
Like they
thing,
were cooking everybody. They
they
saw
were
Chris
they
and they
were
were
cooking everybody. So, but the thing
like, ooh,
is, Jay. So for the Celtics, there is not a single player on the Bucks roster that can guard Jayson Tatum. It's just facts. There's not a lot of people in the league that can do it, but there's absolutely no player on the Bucks roster that can guard Jayson Tatum. If Giannis is on the wing with Jayson Tatum all game,
ooh.
Drew, but okay, so here's the thing. You could put Drew on Jayson Tatum, but we can't afford to do that for the whole game. Why? Because honestly, we need Drew to be our second option. And we
Yeah, and he
saw it
has no
happen.
legs. That's what happens in all these games. He's always gas playing the best defense, and then we're like, why can't Drew Holiday shoot? Have you ever tried locking up like just think
So
about guarding the best player on the court, someone that you got to run around for 40 minutes, and then he's switching on to Jaylen Brown. We're asking him to play high level on ball defense and then still give us 25-10, but 25-7 on like productive numbers. Give that man a break. Like, I get it.
it's a
I
lot.
understand. It's tough to do that.
It's a lot
Like
to ask.
one or the other. That's why you have high level defenders and high level scorers. But to do both at such a high level that he does, like that's oof, you
That's
know?
so that is the problem. So that's one of the main problems.
Yeah.
Also, even what we saw last year, Giannis can be great, right? But for
Yeah.
whatever reason, and I don't, it's hard because I feel like this is kind of just in Giannis's wiring of his competitiveness and things like that. But you can tell that Boston like frustrates him. Like it's not just that he hates losing to them or hates losing in general. Like Boston gets under his skin for whatever reason. I haven't seen a wall work on Giannis in 3 years. But
It's
that's
so long. And they're just all forearmed up. Al Horford with his it's just certain guys. I feel like Marcus Smart gets under him pretty well. Al Horford is very forearmy, and they give him every inch on him when he gets in the paint because it's Giannis. They ref him like Shaq from time to time. Grant Williams also fairly stocky, great lateral defense. There's a lot of like once you switch on to somebody, he's seeing a lot of low stances, good lower centers of gravity, strong guys that it's tough to get by. Like Miami kind of thinned out as years went on,
yeah,
but back in that bubble era, they had like a pretty solid line to defend him. Toronto did.
yeah,
Kawhi, they had like Gasol. Like I feel like that's what they've built up. They have a lot of 6'8", 6'9", like combo guards. Like Malcolm Brogdon's another good, strong, lengthy defender. Derek White. They've assembled a unit that is very ambiguous in terms of like a lot of like halfway four, halfway five guys,
yeah,
but are pretty strong and can hit the three ball down. They move the ball well. I feel like matchup wise, like we're a little bit slower, we're a little bit older, and I
yeah,
feel like those two variables, like Joe Ingles can do so much. Like you need guys like Javon, you need guys like Marjan to come in and give productive minutes. I feel like if you give them some burn and maybe try going on a more like every playoff run has had a sub that like oh this guy gave us productive minutes at this time. And sometimes you have to rely on guys that might not seem like they're the likely candidate. It was Pat Connaughton for us during that playoff run against the Suns. Somehow, some way. He got a Mike Breen bang for Christ's sake. Like that's tough. Like Bobby Portis came in and gave productive minutes. Like, and maybe the NBA has seen that we've scouted that you maybe need a guy that is a little bit younger, more spry, is going to do a little bit more different things for your team, give you guys a spark that you may need. But we're relying on Old Faithful, and sometimes you got to switch that up. Like I need to see something. Throw we're getting cooked by 40. Throw something different before they throw the towel in, and now you're giving Marjan minutes. Like I don't know. I feel like guys like Javon, like Grayson, like even though like Grayson doesn't defend too well against Boston either, like you need to give them some burn and then, go with the size and beat them up when it's their second unit, maybe. I don't know. Like, because they do frustrate us.
So that everything that you just explained, I feel like that's the issue. We can't just go with a younger guy because we're losing our best defenders are our veterans. So yeah, if we go with the younger guy, if we go with the younger players, because I agree that Marjan could get some burn. I agree with that. I think Javon's already in the rotation, so that's cool.
Yeah.
I think the issue is you can't do that because we're already kind of at a deficit, right? We can't play Brook against Boston, not down the stretch, at least, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of players that we can't necessarily play. Like, can we really play Connaughton against Boston?
Unless we need to do something. We need to say something because when we had PJ Tucker, I remember a certain playoff series where they had to just tell Bud, hey, this defensive scheme isn't working. Specifically, this defensive scheme isn't working because we forget PJ Tucker did foul out in that series too,
Yeah.
late in that game. So it's like we had to do it with a different cast, someone else had to fill that role. But we had to defend off those screens differently. We couldn't hedge anymore. So we were like, no, like we need to press high off of something and like just like rotate over. Like he was like, please let us do this. So we maybe need to see maybe a bit more different defensive coverage against them specifically because we
How?
can't keep living off of
How? We can't.
gotta flatten out with everything. A five switch, everything. Play high, force in, keep driving multiple kicks. It's like it's
We can't do that. We don't have the team to do that.
if we ran Javon, Giannis, Jay, Grayson, maybe Chris. I think that five. Oh, sorry. Where is Drew in that? Take Grayson out of there. You have Drew. You go that five. Because then you have like five guys that can. You have Javon to get over screens. Like you have guys that are going to fight over because we have to stop sinking back on all of that. Press up, get under these guys as opposed to just giving. We're just sitting back and then we're giving Jayson every bit of room to dance and sidestep us to death when maybe we need to just have someone like put our two smallest, they could post them up as much as they want. Give them a different look, something else. I'm tired of seeing the same script every time we face them. Like
there is no different. That's the thing. There is no different. That's why I say it's a matchup that just isn't good for us. There isn't anything that works. Honestly,
give us the mid-range two against them at like every time instead of them like they have like what 4 threes apiece.
yeah, I think Tatum's threes were contested. Like Tatum's threes were contested. They're up. They're there. Like they're there. But they also gave up the inside too in that particular game. So it's hard because again, unless you're gonna double one of them, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter who's guarding Tatum. There's nobody really good enough to stop him or contain him. That's just the case. So it's a really bad matchup for us, but it's not a matchup that's not winnable. It's just that all the factors that need to be in our favor have to be that way over a 7-game series because it's going to go 7 games, which is also why the number 1 seed is very important.